Okay, Joshua. So, if someone wants to go into commercial catfish farming, what information does the person need to know before the person can start doing that?
Okay, so for a commercial size fish farming, I would recommend the person first gets the formal training, the required training on what you want to do.
Okay.
The second thing is to acquire the space, the land you need to acquire. You first acquire the space depending on how big you want to go into. So if you want a small scale fish farming, you can even use your backyard as a fish farm. It doesn't really require a lot of space. A space like 10 by 10. This is a 10 by 10 feet tarpaulin pond. This can accommodate around 800 catfishes. So this can be a commercial small scale fish farm, just a pond of this size. So if you want to go into commercial fish farm, just as I said, you acquire the space. The space will tell you the amount of ponds you can erect depending on your budget. Space acquisition, then after you do your survey. The survey is to tell you the type of pond you need to install on site. So after the training, and I think you have a fair idea on which pond suits which site. So for instance, if your site, the chosen location is around a slump, waterlogged area, then you know an earthen pond will be the best option. A tarpaulin pond can't fit there because it might. Yes. So you need to go in for an earthen pond. So the chosen location will determine the type of pond you go in for. After the pond selection, then you consider the breed of catfish you need to rear. If you are looking at growing matured catfish, you know that probably you are going in for hybrid. You know, let me take you back a bit. We have three common species of catfish in Ghana. We have the Heterobanchus, and then we have the Clarias garapinos, and then we have the Heteroclarias, which is the fusion between the Heterobanchus and then the Clarias garapinos. So if you use a male Heterobanchus and then the female Heterobanchus, you get the hybrid. So the type of species you choose can also go a long way to determine how successful your cycle is. Because if you are looking at culturing fishes above 6 months, I recommend you go in for the hybrid catfish, because they have slow growth rate for the first 1 month, but then picks up rapidly after the last 3 months. They can grow bigger than the Clarias garapinos. Either of them is good, but then if you want to go in for a long cycle, then you choose the hybrid. So after the breed, then you analyze yourself. Do I have the availability of water? Do I have high availability of water? Because your cycle depends on the quality of water and then the quantity of water you use.
So water is key. You can't go away with it.
Water is key. So if you know there is scarcity of water around your area, then you analyze it. Can I go for a recirculating aquaculture system? If you are going for an earthen pond, you know you are assured that you might not need to change water for the entire cycle. So after identifying, probably I choose to use a tarpaulin pond or a concrete pond. I don't have water on site. What can I do? That is where if you contact someone like Jakdam Farms, we will design a recirculating aquaculture system for you. In short, RAS. Yes, because let's say for a pond size of 10 by 10 feet, if you don't have a recirculating aquaculture system installed, you might need to change water every 2 to 3 days, because the oxygen content in the water will be depleted. They will consume all the oxygen content, and then the ammonia and then the pH starts spiking. Then you would have to change the water because it will affect the growth rate of your catfish. After selecting the type of system, that is either the normal way of culturing fish, recirculating aquaculture system, or bioflux system, then you start by doing your production budget, the cost of production. So you analyze yourself. After getting a formal training from someone like Jakdam Farms, you'll be able to do your production budget, know the prices of each fingerlings, if seed I buy, and then the money required for me to probably feed them for the entire cycle.
Okay.
You'll be able to calculate for that.
Okay.
That will determine the size, at least the amount you are looking to spend at the end of the cycle.
Okay.
You do that as well. If you know you have cash enough, you might choose to expand or maintain a certain number of fishes.
Okay.
I think we will come to somewhere where I can explain how to get your production budget right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So after doing your production budget, then you start your fish farming journey by acquiring your fingerlings.
Okay.
That is your seed, either at fingerling stage or juvenile stage.
Okay.
You acquire them from a good hatchery.
Okay.
Because if you get a wrong seed, if I say seed, I mean either baby fishes, the fingerlings, or the juvenile, the juveniles you buy.
Okay.
If you don't acquire them from a good hatchery, one, you might end up buying something we call rants. Rants are fishes with stunt growth. Okay. No matter the amount of feed or the quality of your water, they refuse to grow.
Oh.
So you need to buy from the right hatchery to ensure that you don't buy rants. And then also, if you buy from the right hatchery, you know you are not sending any infection from the hatchery to your pond, because that will go a long way to affecting the success of your production cycle.
Okay.
After getting your seed, then you start your whole cycle by starting to feed them, taking care of them. Yes, that is it.
So the key takeaway from here is that you need training.
You need training.
Otherwise, you'd end up wasting money.
Yes. Okay. I once had someone who thought that because catfishes naturally live in the mud and all that, they can just acquire the fish, dispense them in whatever pond that they do, but forgetting that there are calculations as to regards with the space it is required to store or to culture a certain number of fishes.
Okay.
Yes. So the training is a must.
All right.
It's a must.
Okay. You kept mentioning cycle. Could you tell us more about what the catfish cycle is about?
Okay. So your cycle is determined by the size of fish you want to grow to.
Okay.
Let's say if you conduct your market survey and then your customers demand a smoking size catfish, which is around 200 grams to 700 grams, then you know your cycle will stretch from, let's say, 3 months to 4 months.
Okay.
If your market customers demand matured catfish around, let's say, 1 kilo to 1 kilo and above, then you know you are going to stretch your cycle from 5 months to 6 months.
Okay.
If you get a quality feed and then you take care of your water perimeters for 5 to 6 months, you can sell them off. People will tell you 3 months you can sell the grill size fish, but practically you can't. I must be honest, you can't.
Okay, Joshua, so I would like to grow 1,000 pieces catfish, right? What do I need to do to be able to achieve that?
Okay, so in order to grow 1,000 pieces catfish to, let's say, 1 kilo weight each, okay, you first need to acquire your pond. So 1,000 pieces catfish can requires a 15 by 15 feet tank, tarpaulin tank, either tarpaulin or concrete. Yes, you acquire that, and that will cost you around 3,500.
For either option?
No, for the tarpaulin.
Okay.
For concrete, you can't really give a precise amount, but then a concrete pond 15 by 15 can cost you around 4,000 Ghana cedis to construct.
Okay.
But basically, for a tarpaulin pond, you require 3,500 Ghana cedis to construct.
Okay.
To buy a tarpaulin pond of that size.
Okay.
And then, as well, you move to acquiring your fingerlings, your baby fishes.
Okay.
So for a starter, I always recommend you start with juveniles. Juveniles are a bit robust. They are a bit older than the fingerlings.
Okay.
So juveniles are a bit robust to infections and all that. So if you're a beginner, it's always advisable to start with juvenile catfish. So one piece of juvenile catfish is currently selling at 2 Ghana cedis. So in order to acquire 1,000 pieces, you need 2,000 Ghana cedis.
Okay.
So with the tarpaulin costing 3,500, you purchase 2,000 Ghana cedis of juveniles. That is 1,000 pieces.
Okay.
That will sum up to 5,500.
Okay.
And then you move on to your feed cost.
Okay.
So let me break this down for everybody to understand. If you have one catfish and you want to grow it to 1 kilo size, that is one juvenile catfish, and you want to grow it to 1 kilo size, it required 1 kilo feed.
Oh.
1 kilo feed.
So what they are eating reflects their size.
Yes, that is if FCR is 1. FCR is the feed conversion ratio, the ability to convert the feed to body weight.
Okay.
So let's say, in simple words, 1,000 catfish will require 1,000 kilos of feed from the juvenile stage to 1 kilo size.
Okay.
So 1,000 kilo size, 1,000 kilo feed is bagged in 15 kilos. The feed bags comes in 15 kilos.
Okay.
So with 1,000 kilos, that is, if you divide 15 by 1,000, you get somewhere around 67.
Okay.
So 67 bags of feed from the juvenile stage to a 1 kilo size. Okay. And a bag of feed is currently selling, depending on the pellet size. You know, when they are juveniles, when they are small sizes, we feed them with smaller pellet size. That is the 2 mm pellet size. So as they are growing, we keep increasing the pellet size. And as the pellet size is increasing, the feed price drops.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So a rough estimate is, if you are having 1,000 catfish, you require 67 bags of feed. And 67 bags of feed will cost you around 15,500 Ghana cedis in total.
Okay.
So let's say your production cost will be the feed cost, the tarpaulin cost, and then the fingerlings cost. Yes. Okay. For labor, one person can actually take care of 1,000 catfish. It doesn't require labor. The extra expenditure will be your utility. Let's say you are using water, Ghana water, then you would have to pay for Ghana water, depending on the amount of times you change water.
Okay.
And you must know that every kilo of catfish also requires 1 liter of water. Okay. So if you have a pond, let's say you don't have money to buy the tarpaulin pond, and you have these storage tanks, the water storage tanks, the one with the mesh around it, that is the 1,000 liters tank. Every catfish, the white ones. Okay. Every catfish requires 1 liter of water. Every 1 kilo catfish requires 1 liter of water to grow. Okay. So if you have that particular pond, which is the 1,000 liter tank, that means you can grow 100 catfish in that particular pond. Okay. Okay. Yes. So that means you need like a 10 of them. Yes, a 10 of them. To do the 1,000. Yes, to do the 1,000. Okay. To do the 1,000. Okay. So with feed cost being 15,000, tarpaulin pond cost being 3,500, that sums out to 18,500, right? Yes. And then your fingerlings cost is your juveniles will cost you 2,000 Ghana cedis. That is around 20,500 or something roughly. Okay. So it is required that you have around 20,500 in order to grow catfish from the juvenile stage to 1 kilo size each. For basically, the 1,000 pieces. Okay, so depending on the number of catfish I want to grow, that determines the amount that I would need to do all of that. Yes. Okay, I think that pretty much explains it. Okay. So Joshua, that's 1 kilo catfish. How much can I sell that to make profit? Okay. So currently, 1 kilo size weight catfish is selling at 40 Ghana cedis. Okay. Each. So if you have 1,000 pieces at the end of your production cycle, that means you are selling one at 40 Ghana cedis. 40 times the 1,000 will be 40,000. So if you subtract your, is it 20,500 from the 40,000, you're having around 19,000. But be reminded that utility cost. So there are some miscellaneous costs that will be deducted from it. So basically, with catfish farming, you are looking at around 30% profit. Oh. It's always good to underestimate than overestimate. That is true. You can make probably more than that if you have the experience. Yes, but then you are always looking at somewhere around 30% profit. Not bad at all. Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. That's good.